Alright, this is the Dayton Audio SA1000 subwoofer amplifier. I haven't really seen any detailed videos on YouTube over this amp, so I wanted to go ahead and make one. So like the name implies, it's a 1000 watt RMS subwoofer amplifier. And this thing's a beast. I have two of them. And by beast, I mean literally, it's huge. You see my hand for comparison. And it weighs about 30 pounds, so it's heavy as well. Reason being is because this thing's a Class AB amplifier. So this is an analog based amplifier compared to a Class D, which is digital. Class AB amplifiers are going to give you better sound quality compared to Class D, but the downside is the size, the weight, and then they're also going to be less efficient. So they're not going to be as good as converting the power from the wall to speaker power as efficiently, but you get better sound quality over it. So there's that. So let's get right to it. So here at the front you have pretty basic controls, and what's awesome about it, you have these switches here which you can press like a button and they come out, and then you can make the adjustments. So for example, here you have an equalizer, which I don't use, I turn it off. But if you wanted to, you just make your adjustment and then you push it back in and it'll stay there. You can't move it around, which is awesome. So you have your equalizer here. You have phase, so it goes all the way from 0 to 180. I'm not sure why you would need that. I mean, if you wire your speakers right, I guess, you know, if you have your speakers oriented in such a way, that'll come in handy. You have your low pass filter from 30 Hertz to 200 Hertz, and you have your gain. So let me go ahead and turn it around. Oh man, this thing is heavy. All right. Let me get this thing around. All right, let's see if this thing can focus here. All right, so here's the back. I guess I'll start from the left. So you have your AC power connector. Here's the power cord. It's a pretty beefy power cord. It's a 14 gauge power cord that it comes with. I mean, you know, you're gonna have 1000 watts RMS, you know, need to power it with a decent wire. You have your 12 volt trigger. So it's essentially just a 3.5 millimeter jack, the same you would use for like your headphones. If your amplifier, your theater receiver has a 12 volt trigger, you'll see it in the back. You can connect it from the receiver to the amplifier and it'll automatically turn it on based on the switch that is here, which I'll get to in just a moment. So it has 3 ways to turn on. The 12 volt trigger is probably going to be one of the best ways to do it, but it has other methods too. So here's your speaker outputs. These are pretty sweet. It's one of the best things I love about this amp, because it uses your standard speaker connections you would see on, you know, just a standard theater receiver. They're gold plated and they can accept banana plugs like this. I love using banana plugs. All you do, you know, hook up your speaker wire to the banana plug and hook it in. Pretty straightforward. And then you can also unscrew it, and then you can, let me see if you can see that. You can fit your speaker wire through there and then just close it up if you want to. I mean, with 1000 watts, you know, you can get away with some 10 to 12 gauge wire. So do you see that it has 2 speaker outputs? I mean, you can hook up multiple speakers to this, no problem. The main thing is you want to hook it up to 4 ohms. So you can have 2 8-ohm subwoofers, one going here, then going here, and then the amplifier is going to see that as 4 ohms because they're wired in parallel. I had 2 subwoofers going into this, and they were dual voice coil. Had them wired to 8 ohms, and then hooked up to this, then the amp saw 4 ohms. So yeah, there's several ways to do it. You can hook up just one 8-ohm sub if you want and get half the power, or just one 4-ohm sub and get, you know, the full 1000 watts. So that's pretty sweet. So here's the next thing. So here's the remote turn on that I was referencing to for the 12 volt trigger. So you have 3 options. You have the 12 volt trigger. So if you just move the switch here to the left, you'll be able to use this. Like I said, if your amplifier has a 12 volt trigger option, whenever you turn the amp on, this will turn on automatically because it'll get your signal from that wire. Then you have auto. Auto is pretty sweet because all it does is it'll be on standby, and when it detects audio from your subwoofer connection from the receiver, it'll automatically turn itself on too. So I mean, you could go either way, or you could just have it where you turn it on yourself. That's pretty straightforward. Bass boost, so this will affect the equalizer you have at the front. I usually leave mine off. And then you have subsonic filter. I believe in the manual I saw that the subsonic filter is only one setting. It's at 18 Hertz. So you can leave it on or off. I just leave mine off. I just let the audio come in as it comes, the way it was meant to. I mean, I guess you could turn it on if you don't want to, if you have a box turned a certain way and you don't want to ruin your subwoofers. Maybe you have a high-tuned box and you'll get too much excursion out of it, which is possible with 1,000 watts. And here here's your audio inputs for your from your home theater receiver or your audio source. So you have your standard, you know, your subwoofer connection slash RCA analog connection, stereo connections. So there is left and right, and then you have an LFE port. So for those of you who don't know what LFE is, it's a special low frequency, I guess, audio signal that some home theater receivers support, which are really meant for, I guess, movies and stuff like that. If your home theater receiver has one and you want to use this as a home theater amp and not really for music, then you should use that, get better audio quality. Otherwise, just use your standard connections. I listen to a lot of music, so I just use these. And then you actually have a high pass output, so I guess you could daisy chain this to something else if you wanted to, which makes it very versatile. So that's the amp. And like I said, which is awesome, that it has just standard speaker connections in the back that can accept banana plugs. Forgot to mention here, I have a speak-on connection. This is what you would normally see on rack-mountable amplifiers, which this is rack-mountable, by the way, which use these big fat connections where you have to wire the speakers inside of here. And you don't really have that much room, and then they're pretty limited. You can only get like 14 to 12 gauge wire in there. I don't really like these. I prefer using banana plugs. So I already have a video that I uploaded because I have two of these. The ones in the restroom powering a 15-inch Scar VVX V3. It's a 600 RMS sub, but it's pretty underrated, and it pushes the hell out of it. So I already have a video like that. I'll post a link down below, and then I'm gonna make some more videos for you guys. Here's another Scar VVX that I have, 10-inch, and then a 12-inch IX, which is the entry-level sub. And maybe I'll make some videos of maybe pushing little mini woofers like this and see, just have some fun with it. So yeah, there it is.